Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about my newest lens again, the 200-400, and how I'm finding it and what sort of quality images am I able to get from this camera, and talk to you about, do I regret buying it, am I super glad that I bought it, etc. like that. But also, because a few of you have asked in the comments before on other videos as well, we are going to compare it against some images I took on the 500mm f4, and I'm going to talk to you if I will keep the f4 and the 500mm f4 and just use 200 and use both the lenses, or will I sell this lens and just keep the 200-400. So what we're going to do first is we're going to look at the images that I got from this lens here, the 200-400, and then we'll talk about those images and then go from there. Okay, so the first photo we've got here is of a hunting dog. The reason I've chosen this photo is it's through glass, and a lot of people have said they like my content, the fact that I talk about shooting through glass and stuff. This was straight on, as you can see. This is nice and sharp in the eyes, so the focusing was spot on there, and no issues at all shooting through glass with this one on this photo. The next photo is of an otter. I thought I'd do a photo where the subject is off to the side slightly, so you can see if the corners of the photo are nice and sharp. But yeah, as you can see, eyes perfectly in focus, both eyes here. This was with the converter on, which is why both eyes are in focus, because they're not quite in line, but being f5.6, that's kind of done that. But those nice out of focus, the background is nicely blown out, so all good there too. And the final photo here, this is the 540mm with the f5 as well, shooting into the light a little bit and through wire, and you can see absolutely perfect, not a problem at all. Super happy. This photo is my favourite photo of the day, and this was early morning light. This is one of the first photos I took for the whole day I was at London Zoo, and yeah, perfectly in focus. Everything's nice and sharp where you want it to be, and the background and everything, and even a bit of the foreground where I've had to shoot through a bush as well, is almost nicely framing the tiger where you want it to be. It's all good. So as you can see, the images I got from this lens, perfectly sharp, perfectly usable, even with the 1.4 converter switched on. So super usable, no complaints as a walk around lens at all. You can't obviously quite get the same depth of field when you have the converter on as you do with the 500mm, which I'll show you in the photos in a second, but they are still sharp as you could ever want them to be, especially the last one, the Tiger one. That was through wire, into a little bit of light with the converter on, and still an absolutely usable photo with no complaints at all. So let's have a look at the photos that I took on the big old beast of 500mm, and look at those, and then I'll do an overall on both of them in a second. So this one was quite a lucky shot. It's I can see quite harsh lighting, but this was with the R6, bang on focus on the eyes, tracked absolutely perfectly, nice and sharp, because I was at f4 as well. It goes out of focus really quickly into the nose, and overall really nice portrait photo from that lens. Next one we have here is a lion, again quite harsh light, but got the eye tracking working absolutely perfectly in the middle of him looking up into the sky. Used quite a slightly higher f-stop, so I was using f6.3, which is why a bit more is in focus, but the background's nice there. If you look at the eye, nice and in focus. This was shooting through wire as well, so there's no signs of that, which is good, especially in the lighting conditions that we were shooting through at the day. And the final one here is a baby monkey. This is through glass, and the eye tracking again absolutely fine. This was a slight angle, so it does look a little bit softer than I'd probably like, but the eyes are still in focus, but just a little bit softer than I prefer, and you can see how quickly the photo blurs out and gets softer towards the back, and again that's just purely from shooting through the glass at the time. So those are the images I got with this 500mm lens here. As you see, perfectly sharp, perfectly usable, really happy with them, and that is a reason why I will still continue to use this lens, is just at that extreme reach of 500mm. Having the f4, you can shoot when it gets a little bit darker, you don't have to worry about as much, you get a slightly better depth of field at f4, and it just is an amazing piece of engineering that Canon made. and this is only the Mark 1. I can't imagine how good the Mark 2 would be from there as well. With the 200-400, I'd say to answer a few questions of, am I happy that I got it? 100% yes, I'm happy I got this. This is a lens that I first tested when it came out 10 years ago, or however long it was now, at a camera show, and I was like, I'll never be able to get one of these lenses. So it was almost a dream lens to even be able to afford it and to be able to have the opportunity to have one. It's something I'm going to continue using all the time without a shadow of a doubt. If I'm going away on a trip, like I'm going to go away to Chester soon, I would take this instead of taking the two lenses I used to take, which was the 300 and the 500. I can just take one lens now, be a bit more light on my travel, and then it opens up to me being able to take the macro lens with me, and use that instead and keep that in one of my jacket pockets, and only get that out when I need it. And then I can only need to take one camera with me as well if I don't feel like carrying two cameras with me. So what I'm going to be doing is going away with the 1DX Mark II with this lens, and I'll be doing a review on the 1DX Mark II, a bit more long-term review now. I've had it a good few months now, and talking about that, but everything will be shot on this or a macro 100mm f2.8. But if you can afford one of these and you want a super sharp lens, like as I said in my initial video, this is as much as the 100-500 RF. That's how much is spent on it, the same amount of money that is. And to have the f-stop that you do on this one, the f4 all the way through, and then you flick the converter on to get that up to that 500, and you're still well under the 7.1 that the 100-500 offers you on the RF side, and how sharp the imagery is with this, and how it still even works very well with the R6 I've got as well. I've used it with the R6 quite a lot, no problems at all. And it's just such a good versatile lens. As I say, I will still keep the 300 and the 500, because if I don't mind carrying extra weight, having that 300 f2.8, having that 2.8 f-stop when the light gets dark, especially in the winter, I'll use that lens a hell of a lot during the winter. It means I can shoot for longer without worrying about having to boost that ISO up stupidly high. And I'll use the 500mm for the same reason, and I'll take those to the zoos. But when I'm travelling long distances, when I'm going further away, this lens is the one I'm going to be taking. And then even if I took the 70-200 with me as well and a second camera, I have 70 to 540mm, and I can even add a converter on the back if I really wanted to and make that even longer if I was willing to sacrifice some light through the front end of this. So that's my overview thoughts on this lens so far since using it, and also, as some of you asked for, comparing it to the 500mm. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe, comment and like. The next video will be me taking the 1D Mark I from 2002 out into the real world with this lens, because this is the lens I've decided to use on all of them to keep it level playing field, and seeing what the image quality is like on that camera nowadays. So if you want to listen, watch out for that one. Please subscribe and you won't miss out. I'll catch you in the next one. See you soon. Goodbye.